Hi everybody, welcome back to my outdoor kitchen. It's a beautiful 80 degrees and today I'm going to be preparing a dish my mama often prepared when I was growing up, and that's calabacitas with ground beef and panela cheese. It's hearty and so easy and inexpensive to prepare. I know you're going to love it. The first thing I'm going to do is brown my ground beef. I have 1 pound of 80/20 ground beef. I'm going to be using this Mexican olla right here, and it's nice and hot. I'm going to put my beef in here until it gets nice and brown, and then I'm going to drain it, and I've got my heat set on medium-low. Now while I'm browning the ground beef, I'm going to grind my spices. I've got 1 teaspoon of whole cumin, 1 teaspoon of whole peppercorn, and I have half a teaspoon of Mexican oregano. If you don't have Mexican oregano, you can use the regular one or just leave it out. And I'm going to grind this up really good. Now I like to grind my spices fresh because I think that the flavor really stands out. Not that it's not good with it pre-ground, but I just think that this one really stands out. And this is the way my mama always did it, and this is how I learned to make it too. So now that I have my cumin and my peppercorn nice and ground, I'm going to add my garlic. I have 3 large garlic cloves. This is a nice sized pot, so you want enough garlic in here for the flavor. And I'm going to grind this up. So I have everything nice and ground. I'm going to add 1 cup of water. And I'm going to bring it in together like this and set it aside until I'm ready to use it. So my ground beef is nice and brown, and I have drained it, removed all the grease. I left just a little bit in here, maybe less than a tablespoon. And I'm going to add my onions. This is 1 cup of chopped onions. And I'm going to add 1 large jalapeno, seeds and veins removed. And I'm going to move it around just for about 1.5 minutes until the onions get a little translucent. Now, if you don't want any heat at all in your dish, you can just leave the jalapeno out. But I like just a little bit of heat in the dish. So my onions are slightly translucent. Now I'm going to add my tomato sauce. I'm going to be using about 4 ounces, just half of this can. And that's good right there. This is going to add some delicious flavor and color to the dish. Now I'm going to add my tomatoes. I have 3 large Roma tomatoes. And I've got some cilantro, maybe 2 tablespoons or so. Look at this. Oh, and it's starting to smell delicious already. This is one of my Ron's favorite dishes. He'll request it because he says it's got everything he loves. Now I'm going to add all my spices. Now while I let these flavors come in together, I'm going to make my broth. In this cup, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of hot water. I'm going to be using Better Than Bouillon beef flavor. If you don't have the beef flavor, you can use the chicken flavor, and there's nothing wrong with that. And here's another one. Now I'm going to stir it so it can dissolve really well before I add it in. Now as you can see, it's come up to a light boil like this. I'm going to add my broth in here. Oh, this smells delicious already. Look at this. So I'm going to replace the lid, and I'm going to let it simmer on medium-low for 10 minutes so that all these flavors can come in together and give you the best dish at the end. Now, while everything is simmering for 10 minutes, I'm going to cut up my calabacita. This is Mexican squash. Now, if you can't find these, you can use zucchini. They're delicious too. I'm going to remove the ends. I'm just going to cut these in half and then into 3. And then I'm going to cut them up into cubes about this size right here. See, just like that. Now I'm going to put them into this bowl. So everything's been simmering for 10 minutes. Now I'm going to add my calabacitas in here. And I'm also going to add 1 whole can of sweet corn. This is 15.25 ounces. liquid and all. Now you can use frozen corn or you can use fresh corn off the cob. But I love the canned corn in here because I love the flavor of the liquid. And that's good. I've got my heat set on medium low. You want a little bubble here and a bubble there. Now this would be the time for you to adjust the salt. I'm not adding any because the beef broth has salt in it. And then later when I add the cheese, that's got salt in it. So at the end it comes out perfect with no added salt. I'm gonna let it simmer for 20 minutes. Now every now and then you wanna come in and you wanna give it a stir. Make sure that everything cooks evenly. Just like that. I told you it was gonna be quick. So my 20 minutes are up. Now I'm ready to add my last ingredient. I've got 10 ounces of panela cheese cut up into little cubes like this. See? I'm gonna add them right in here. Look at how delicious this looks. And I'm gonna move it around and just push it down a little bit like this. Now this panela cheese does not melt like mozzarella cheese where it's gonna be stringy. This one is just gonna get nice and soft from the inside, like little soft pillows. I'm gonna replace the lid. I'm gonna turn off the heat and I'm gonna let it sit there for 5 minutes and let those little cubes of panela cheese get nice and soft. So it's been 5 minutes. Now it's time to serve. Look at this. Now, traditionally, we serve Mexican rice on the side or beans. You can decide whichever one you like. Now it's time for the taste test. Oh, one of my corn tortillas that are nice and soft. A little bit of my calabacitas, a little bit of the rice. Mm-hmm. You're just gonna have to trust me on this one. It's heavenly delicious and so easy to put together. So this is my calabacitas with ground beef and panela cheese. If you like my recipe, give me a thumbs up, send me a comment and tell me what you think. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you.